you must have boundaries. And if you don't have boundaries in terms of how much you give to them, you will affect them, you will affect yourself, and you will affect the whole. There are several boundaries that you must have in place if you want to if you want to make sure that you are protecting yourself, protecting your relationship, and protecting the assignment. Favoritism, call it what you want. Not every relationship deserves the same level of access, and this must be understood. See these signs, know that you need stronger boundaries in your life. There was a time in my life when I lived in constant defeat. I mean, if losing was a person, it was this guy here. And that's because I really thought that life was all about effort. I thought if you try harder, if you push harder, if you pray a little more, then things will begin to happen for you and doors will open. But what I didn't understand was this concept of favor with God and favor with people. You see, the Bible says that Jesus grew in stature and in favor with God and favor with people. And in that season of my life, I had to learn that there are principles and systems that we engage in order to unlock this favor with God and favor with people. It is not random. And the book I wish I could have read at that time is the book that I had to write myself. It is Unlocking Favor with God and People. It is a 30-day devotional that is written in very simple fashion, which is how I prefer to read books. So if you go to pologoglobal.com or Amazon, if you are anywhere else outside of South Africa, you'll be able to get yourself a copy of this book, gifted to a loved one as well. I promise you it is worth the read. God bless you, my friend. Jesus had boundaries, and you need boundaries too. Jesus created boundaries that made sure that his assignment was protected while he walked the earth, and you need boundaries as well. There is nothing evil about it, my friend. Listen, welcome back to another episode of Align with Pologo. And on this episode, we are following up on yesterday's episode. So I highly recommend that you go back and see yesterday's episode where we spoke about boundaries. We continue to speak about boundaries today as a way of wrapping up our week on relationships. We did 5 episodes on relationships. If you missed those as well, go back and catch them. Now, on today's episode, I want to continue to speak about boundaries, but I want to share some principles with you, and I want us to get very practical by giving you a practical framework to help you as we try to understand this idea of boundaries, and as we make sure that you no longer feel guilty for having boundaries, that you no longer feel like a bad person just because you have boundaries. Let me remind you, Mark chapter 1, we read this yesterday. Mark chapter 1, verse 35 to 38 says, very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. Simon and his companions went to look for him, and when they found him, they exclaimed, everyone is looking for you. Everyone is looking for you. Jesus replied, let us go somewhere else, to the nearby villages, so I can preach there also. That is why I have come. He doesn't say, oh, where are they? Let me attend to them. He says, we got to go somewhere else. That's a no, my friend. That's, I hear you say they're looking for me, but I've got other people to attend to. Luke chapter 5, verse 15 and 16 say, yet the news about him spread all the more, so that crowds of people came to hear him and to be healed of their sicknesses. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. So we must establish first and foremost that this was not something that he did. This was not an event. It was a pattern, right? Isolation for Jesus was not a single event. It was a pattern that he implemented into his routine, so that we are told that he often withdrew. He often separated himself from the people. Yes, the people wanted to be around him. Yes, the people wanted his attention. Yes, the people wanted to listen to him, to be taught by him, but he put boundaries in place and he separated himself when it was necessary. Yesterday, I also told you about Moses and his father-in-law Jethro, when Moses had surrounded himself with all these people who were always coming to him for advice on to settle matters. He had appointed himself judge, and he was the only judge in place, and all these people were bringing all their problems to him, and he ended up in a place where his father-in-law had to say to him, "What are you doing? You are burning yourself out. You handle the high-level stuff, have somebody else handle everything else. You are no longer accessible to everyone all the time." Because he used to be surrounded by people from morning until evening, just people's problems, one after the other. My friend, there is nothing wrong with having boundaries. So yesterday I told you that I would share some principles with you that I believe will be helpful, that we just drew from these texts that we just read. And if you write these down for yourself so you can remember them one day, or like this video, save it so that you can come back to it again. First principle is this. Number one, not every opportunity is for you. Not every opportunity is for you. Not every opportunity is you being obedient to what God is calling you to. Not every opportunity is you being obedient to what God is doing in your life. Sometimes you just have to let it go. Sometimes you just have to walk away and say, that's not for me. Yes, it's good, but it's not for me. And I know that I got burnt out at some point, because there was a time when everything that is good sounded like it was my responsibility. And so someone comes up to me and they say, "But look, we're doing something with the kids." Oh my goodness, I'd love to help the kids. "But look, we're doing something with the old people." Oh man, the old people, let's help the old people. "But look, we're doing something for our community." Community, why? Who wouldn't want to do something for community? Something at the church, but look, of course, I love the church. And so not everything that sounds good, not everything that is good is for you. You will end up burnt out trying to attend to everything that is good. You understand this very simply when it comes to generosity. There is nothing wrong with generosity. I believe in the power of generosity, but you can never put yourself in a position where you are giving of everything that you are and everything that you have to the point where there is nothing left. If you don't have boundaries, your children will go hungry because you gave to everyone else. Even though the opportunity to give was there and it was good. Listen, not every opportunity is for you. You need to understand that healthy relationships will respect space, they will respect solitude, they will respect spiritual replenishment, they will respect personal capacity. They will respect it. Those are healthy relationships. Second principle, good intentions do not replace wise structure. Good intentions do not replace wise structure. Have structure around your life. I'll give you a very simple example. When it comes to generosity, you cannot just be driven by good intentions. You need to have structure. If you say that, you know what, I believe in sowing a seed every single month, there must be a structure. There must be a number to it that says, this is what my budget looks like. This is what I have in order to be generous. Beyond this, count me out. Beyond this, God will help you. It won't be me. Beyond this, somebody else will attend to it. There is nothing wrong with that. That is godly, as a matter of fact. Right? Good intentions do not replace wise structure. Moses' father-in-law says to him, listen, you will overextend yourself. He says you will wear yourself out attending to these people from morning until night. That is not good. That is not good. Put some people in place who will take some of the load off of you, right? And here's the truth. The truth is, overextension hurts everyone. Overextension hurts everyone. No one benefits at the end of the day. You and the person that you are overextending yourself to help, they end up disappointed in you. They end up feeling like you let them down. They know what you are capable of, but you couldn't give that to them. Overextension hurts everyone. The burnout will affect the leader, it will affect the mission, and it will affect the people. That's why Moses had to fix it. Right? You know that even with your children, you must have boundaries. And if you don't have boundaries in terms of how much you give to them, you will affect them, you will affect yourself, and you will affect the home. Boundaries with your spouse. If you don't have boundaries, you will affect them, you will affect yourself, and you will affect the home. Very important, my friend. Right? You must have boundaries in place. And the third principle, saying yes to everything eventually destroys what God actually assigned to you. Saying yes to everything eventually destroys what God actually assigned to you. Listen, healthy relationships will require clear roles. This is what you do, this is what I do. These are the limitations of my abilities. These are the limitations, these are the boundaries of my responsibility to you, right? There are clear expectations. There are clear responsibilities. So understand that boundaries are actually faithful stewardship. When you put boundaries in place, you are being a faithful steward with what has been entrusted to you, with what God has given to you. You are being a good steward. So you need boundaries. You need boundaries. Now, before we finish this off, I want to share with you the types of boundaries that you must set in place for yourself. There are several boundaries that you must have in place if you want to make sure that you are protecting yourself, protecting your relationship, and protecting the assignment. Number one, very simply, it is a time boundary. Time boundary. Not every request deserves immediate access. You cannot attend to everything at the time that it gets your attention. You cannot function that way. You must have time boundaries in place. Number two, it's emotional boundaries. Emotional boundaries. You are not responsible for managing everyone's emotional stability. You cannot possibly be responsible for everyone's emotions, trying to make everyone happy, cry with everyone, laugh with everyone. There are times when people are laughing and you just are not in that space and you need to separate yourself. There are times when everyone is crying and you just don't have the emotional bandwidth for it and you need to separate yourself. There is nothing wrong with that. It's wisdom, my friend. Number three, there are assignment boundaries. Assignment boundaries. Not every opportunity aligns with your calling. And sometimes the best thing that you can do for yourself is pass on a good opportunity. The best thing that you can do for yourself sometimes is to pass on an amazing opportunity. Not every opportunity aligns with your calling. Number four is relational boundaries. Not every relationship deserves the same level of access, and that's okay. Favoritism, call it what you want. Not every relationship deserves the same level of access, and this must be understood. The people in your life must understand this, and it's not necessarily something that you have to go out and announce every single time, but you need to know it for yourself, that you can't be there for everyone in the same capacity. In the same way that your commitment to your children is not the same as your commitment to your brothers or your sisters' children. You still love them. You will still do right by them. But your commitment to them is not the same as your commitment to your children. Now, of course, there are exceptions, and I'm not talking about exceptions. Your commitment to your wife is not the same as your commitment to your childhood friend. The commitment is different. Not every relationship deserves the same level of access. There are people who just cannot get to the inner court. They will end up at the door. They will end up outside. What do you mean you want to put people in a position where they are the same as people who have been here for a long time? Never mind time. People contribute differently. What do you mean you want to give them the same level of access to your life? There are people who, if they call me right now, listen, there are people who, if they call me right now, I just won't answer. I just won't answer. And then there is my fiance who knows I'm recording right now, but if she calls, I know that it's probably something very, very serious because she wouldn't call me while I'm recording. So I'll pause and I'll answer. I'll stop everything and I'll answer. Not everyone deserves the same level of access, and that's okay. There is nothing ungodly about that. There is nothing evil about that. There is nothing about that that makes you less of a Christian. So there are some things that I want you to be on the lookout for, and I'll go through these very quickly. Right? I'll go through this very quickly. But there are some signs that you need to look out for you to know that you need stronger boundaries. When you see these signs, know that you need stronger boundaries in your life. The first one is this: it's chronic exhaustion. Always tired. Always. Listen, you wake up tired, you go to sleep tired. You are always tired. Could be because you are always available. Number two, it is quiet resentment. Quiet resentment, where you start to slowly and quietly resent people, even though they did not know that they were overstepping boundaries. They didn't know because you normalized this. You never put boundaries in place. And now you're unhappy with them. Put boundaries in place. Another sign is a lack of private time. A lack of private time. You can't have 10 minutes to yourself. You can have 30 minutes to yourself in a day. There need to be some boundaries in place. Another sign is constant crisis management. Always attending to a problem. Always, your life is just, it never gets to a place where it's stable. You are always solving a problem. You are always fixing an issue. You need stronger boundaries. And finally, loss of clarity. You have taken on so much from so many people that you've even lost clarity of your own assignment, of your own mission. Watch out. You are missing it. You need stronger boundaries. My friend, may God help you. As you manage the relationships that God has entrusted to you, there is nothing wrong with setting boundaries in place. Jesus himself had boundaries in place, and he would separate himself from the people when he needed to. Your spiritual growth matters. Your peace of mind matters. Your sanity matters. You will not be able to be there for anyone if you do not have some boundaries in place. Let me put it this way, if you try to be there for everyone, soon you will not be able to be there for anyone. If you try to solve everyone's problem, soon you will not be able to solve anyone's problems, including your own. Have some boundaries in place to protect that which you care about. My friend, this is another episode of Align with Bologo, and I'll see you on the next one. God bless you.